Do you mind introducing yourself first before I begin? Maybe your name, maybe a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Rukudzorwashe Mhiti, but most people know me as Redefined Lady. I am so much years old. We are not going to touch on the age,
no,
but
we're not.
I'm a digital marketing coordinator.
Yeah.
I am also a freelance radio DJ, freelance TV presenter. I hold a Bachelor of Public Relations, currently doing my Master's in Journalism and Media Studies, also doing my theology degree. I think that's basically everything about me.
That's a lot.
I know.
How are you doing all of this?
Well, it takes determination and the energy. I feel like I have so much energy, so why not put it towards everything that I feel I need to do?
Were you like this as when you were younger?
No.
Or Jagazoya?
No, it eventually came through when I was younger, and I just, I was just there. I just existed. And then with age, I started feeling, how can I make myself relevant? Set goals, try achieve them, set targets. Then, that's where it started.
Wow. So would you say, what was the, I guess I'm interested in, like, what was the shift? Like, what was the mindset from Kupusa to, like, determination? Like, was there, did something happen in your life, would you say, that caused that shift, that determination, or did it just happen that you kind of got out of that phase of being, I guess, a child and then a woman, I guess?
I would like to think boarding school changed me. Because all my life I was in boarding school. And in boarding, if you don't do any sport, if you're not part of a certain club, it's almost as if you're irrelevant. You just exist. You're not there. We care about the people who have something to care about. So that then pushed me to say, you know what, I don't want to be this person in society for the rest of my life where I'm just living, I exist, but I'm not important.
Yeah, I feel like that's so, like, relevant now, especially because I think we're always stuck in, like, just trying to exist, but we need to move away from just existing to being, to gain something out of life.
True.
I came across you from your, I don't know, should I call it podcast? Is it like a podcast video? The Socio Ideology.
It's, we could call it a vlog.
A vlog?
A vlog.
A vlog, because you do a video with it, that's why.
It's a vlog.
Kind of like this. This is like a vlog, I guess?
Yeah.
I've been calling it like a video podcast. But
that works too.
Well, first, before I jump into what socio ideology is, but like I'm so interested in, you said otherwise known as redefined lady. What does that mean, redefined lady?
I knew you were going to.
I'm gonna ask that because that stayed in my head. Yeah, it's a great term. I love it.
Redefined lady. It's just someone you cannot pass through certain hurdles until you keep on. Like, life is full of hurdles, and unless you keep on redefining yourself over and over again, you'll never be able to cross certain hurdles. So the name is just a matter of redefined. I'm not just being defined by one term and existing with it. I keep redefining myself with whatever life brings at me.
Which is why you have these many different roles that you have: the presenter, the radio DJ, your podcast.
Yes.
That's amazing. Yeah. All right, so let's pick up on that then. Socio ideology. What is socio ideology, Roko?
Okay,
for
so
people that
social ideology is basically, in short, a short term for social ideologies. So with the show, we're just basically looking at the different ideologies that exist within our Zimbabwean, or rather African, society, and we're looking at them and saying, is this ideology really correct? Does it really apply? But because it's more of a girls thing, I mostly look at ideologies that affect women.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is one topic then you think affects women? When you say women, are you saying women like just across the board? Like, we're not focusing on like young women, or just women in general?
Just women in general.
In Zimbabwe?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I would go with the topic of sex.
Okay, tell me about it.
Like, there's an episode that I actually did where I was talking about taboo conversations, and sex was one of them.
Yeah,
where with the ladies, I can't really, even as a young girl, I can't sit with my mom and ask her questions. With the guys, at some point, they get the talk from the uncles. But with the ladies, when you get the talk from the aunts, it's mostly, you should be respectful, you should respect your husband. It's never really, they never really tell you the information that you need to know about sex. But we're living in a world where, even with media, it creates false ideologies about sex, and we need to accept it as is. yet we could ask about it and learn the right things about it. So that's one of the topics that actually really exist.
For me, I remember when I had the talk, but I feel like the talk for me was about HIV. It was like, take a condom. Like, it was like, it's very matter of fact like that.
Now, you see, for a lady, it would be, do not even, shibati,
Right.
make sure you get married a virgin. You know, they act like any other thing does not exist.
Right.
Even if you're married and then you get divorced, shibati, that's just the talk that ladies get.
How has been the feedback? Because that's it's a very forward topic, sex.
Yeah, with the taboo conversations
Yeah.
one, I feel like most people didn't take it very well.
Okay.
Because I just did not talk. I also talked about money
Mhm, yeah.
and all those other things we don't talk about in the African home.
Yeah.
And people just, when you try and talk about those things, people say you are trying to maybe introduce English culture into an African culture. So that's the backlash I think I got the most.
This is me asking, like, how do you receive it as comments, or do you receive it like, because I'm sure your friends, probably family, right, would see it as well. Are you getting it more from your family, friends? Is it like through the comments so you can easily leave it, or is it actually people coming up to you and saying, Ruku?
I think with my family it's okay.
Okay.
Because my family, they're very supportive, and they know we might not have that conversation, but they kind of accept, and they're kind of a bit evolved when it comes to those things. But then with the friends, it becomes, I have certain friends who are almost stuck in their ways.
Okay.
So to them, it becomes this thing of you're just trying to push a feminist agenda that's ridiculous. So mostly from friends, I think that's where I got the most backlash.
How do you handle criticism? That's something I struggle with, and I'm sure I might struggle. Hopefully not with this program just for women, but how do you deal with it?
Well, at the end of the day, I ask myself,
Right.
what they're saying, is it relevant? If it's relevant, then we take that as constructive criticism, and I'll use it to my benefit. But if it's not relevant, then it doesn't kill me, doesn't change anything from my show, then I don't need to hear it. It's just noise, really.
How do you? So you've mentioned the taboo and the sex and money and everything. How do you come up with some of your topics for your show?
I look into our society.
Right.
That's why it's actually social ideologies,
Right.
because around us things are happening. So I simply just look, what's going on with who? Why is this going on? What's trending? Is this right? Is this wrong? What have we been taught since we were kids? Is this really correct? And then I go with that.
Cool. That sounds really brave.
Yeah,
You're a brave woman, Ruku.
you have to be.
Yeah, you have to be. I want to take you slightly back a little bit. Knowing everything that you know now, I'll take you back when you were 16 years old. Or, like, think of yourself as a 16-year-old. What advice are you still in that 16-year-old? Are you still kupusa at that point? Or have you changed at that point? Do you remember?
I think at 16 I was trying to find myself.
Okay.
So I was so many things at the same time. I was all over the place.
What advice would you give yourself then now? If
tell
you're
her
looking
to-
back to a young Ruku at 16,
I'll tell her
where
to
you are now?
relax,
Okay.
you know? Because there's certain decisions and certain things that I did then, or I said then, and I'll look back and say, but it wasn't necessary. Why did you say this? Why did you do this? I would tell her to relax, to chill, and to listen more.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I've heard that a lot actually about listening more. I feel like we talk a lot, but we never listen, which is why I wanted this show to air. And like, I want this show. I'm so passionate about the show because I feel like as a man anyway, like I feel like we don't listen, and I want to listen, and I'm sure maybe this show can help. How do you, with all the different aspects that you told me about what you do anyway for a living, like how do you do that and still like be you? Like, do you have a family? I mean, are you I don't want to go into your personal business, but are you married? I mean, like, how do you, okay, private life, let's do that. How, your private life with like business,
Okay.
do you separate them or do you like put it together, or like how does that work for you?
I never mix business with my private life.
Okay.
That's the first thing.
I think I felt that came
never
from your
mix.
heart. You're like, I know.
Because the moment you mix the two, you can easily neglect the other and focus more on the other.
Okay.
So I try to not mix them by all means. And when it comes to just balancing them off, I actually create almost a schedule where I know that from this time, if it's from 8 to 5, if I'm doing work as in the day job, it's the day job. And then if I'm saying no, after this I'm going to the gym, we are forgetting about the day job, we are not taking calls. If it's time for school, I am not looking at leisure or friends, I'm turning off my phone, I'm focusing on school. I simply just create a schedule. And then every now and again, I make sure I leave out a weekend where no matter how many things I have that are due, I just say I'm not doing anything.
Okay.
So come Friday, no work, no school. If you send me an email, if you send me a message, I'm replying it on Monday, 8 a.m.
Okay.
Just focus on, if you're going to sit down and just watch television with the family, let it be so. Rather be doing nothing, but relaxing. And if it's calling a friend, even if it's not going out, calling a friend, 2 hours on the phone with a friend, then let it be so, just to give it a balance. Yeah.
I want to go into deeper actually about your schedule. And we had Julie Chimbazo, who's a woman bodybuilder, who's just like amazing in herself. But she spoke a lot about having a schedule and also consistency.
Yeah.
This might be prying a little bit, but I know, I feel like you're an early riser. Like I saw you post something at like 5 in the morning on your WhatsApp and I was like, oh my God, she's up. I usually go for my run at like 5 in the morning, so that's how I checked it out. Walk me through like let's go for Monday because people don't like hate Mondays. Like what's a typical like Monday for you? And like so she, for example, Julie spoke about actually journaling everything for herself. So she would write Kuti and she will do it like when she hits the gym like every day. So she would write like at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, gym. Are you like how is your schedule? Do you write it down? Do you have set things before or?
Okay, so I don't really write down my schedule.
Okay.
Unless it's things like meetings, and then those I'll definitely put on my calendar because I need a reminder or else I'll forget. But I think a day in my life would be, well, we sleep at 5 a.m. We wake up at 7. Then I bath, I prepare for work. At 8, I'm at work. I work from 8 at 1. I take my lunch religiously. Even if I don't want to eat, I take a break.
Okay.
It's like, I'd rather be on my phone, I'd rather be on social media, but 1 o'clock, definitely I'm taking a break. And then I resume 2 to 5, of course. At 5:30, I go to the gym. So 5:30 to 6, it's gym time. I come back home. I take a nap between 6:30 to around 9. And then I wake up and now it's time for school up until 4 a.m. Then from 4 to 5 a.m.
Did you say 9 till 4 a.m.?
Yeah.
School? What? And is it the journalism? The masters?
Yeah, it's the masters. Like currently, besides the masters, like I mentioned, I'm doing 2 degrees. So I could have an assignment due at the master's side and an assignment due with the theology side.
Wow.
So it's like I need to balance. So yeah.
So 9 to 4?
Yeah.
So do you feel like you get enough sleep?
In between, there could be breaks in
Okay.
between. I could work and then I'm like, no, you know what, I'm taking an hour nap. And then
That's
I
amazing.
turn on my alarm, take an hour nap. But at 4, I stop, watch something until 5 so that
Sleep.
I can fall asleep, so that I can then fall
And
asleep.
then wake up
between
again
5
at
and
like
7,
7. That is amazing. And you loved it, I guess.
I think I enjoy it. Because when I don't have things due and have so much time on my hands, I feel bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why journalism? Is it just because you want to carry on the presenting side and?
Okay, initially my passion is still with communications. Like
Okay.
I mentioned, my first degree is in public relations.
Yeah.
But then I realized that you can't really venture into communications, be it corporate communications, even besides the fact that I'm also passionate about the presenting and the DJing. You can't really venture into communications when you don't understand the people you're trying to work with.
Okay.
So by doing journalism and media studies, it's helping me understand how the media functions. It's also helping me understand the journalists themselves, such that even if I then venture into corporate communication, when I approach a journalist, I know who am I talking to? Why should I do this? You know, sometimes because with people in communications, when they don't understand, they tend to treat the journalists the wrong way or treat the media the wrong way when you want the media to be your friends. So yeah.
When you speak about the media, I'm sort of thinking about like Zimbabwean media. What's your take on our media?
It needs a lot of work.
Okay.
That's like, it needs a lot of work. It's so biased. There are so many ideologies within the media that we need to attack. People do it for the wrong reasons, and there's just so much work that's needed before we even look at quality or anything else. Just our guidelines, our, I don't know what to say, our not even morals, I don't know what to call them, but there's a lot of work really.
Okay. So how would you see yourself, maybe this is me assuming, would you try to infiltrate the Zimbabwean media, or are you actually thinking like abroad? Are you going to move somewhere else, or are you going to leave us, Ruku, is what I'm asking.
Well, there are so many opportunities.
Yes, I know.
In the Zimbabwean media.
Okay, oh right. I was actually, I thought you were going to say abroad, but okay, yeah. But they are, yeah.
It's easier for you to know. Actually, it's, if you're starting your own thing, then Zim media is the way, because it's a road for you to venture into it. But then I also feel like at some point I need to experience the abroad version. So chances are I might go abroad, experience something, but at the end of the day, the heart is at home, and I'll make sure, even if I'm not there, I establish something at home.
I like that. I was away too, and I just came back, and always home is always.
How is home treating you?
Lovely. It's sad, really. I mean, like just like home cooked food, and like just which you don't get there anyway, and just being around like your people is always like really uplifting, I feel. I have to ask about the DJ. So what? I can find you somewhere like with the DJ, the decks, and everything, or that sort of DJ, or?
Well, nowadays all you need is your computer.
That's true.
And
that's very
any
true.
desk or virtual DJ. But basically, I actually do a show called R&B Nights with Ruku.
Okay.
Actually, with Redefined Lady. That's my work name.
Okay.
But then, every Tuesday and Thursday on Varsity Stereo, it's an online radio station.
Okay.
So we just listen to R&B while we talk about different topics that affect young people, varsity students. Yeah.
So also you'll be talking while you're playing the music.
Yes.
Interesting. That is pretty cool, Ruku. I'm just trying to think of like some of the young women that are watching you and that are in. Okay, let's start with something really simple then, like your vlog. Let's say there's a young girl out there that wants to start her own vlog. How does she go about? Like, what advice would you give? Like, what are the steps? She's watching you. She knows about Ruku. She's probably gonna Google that, and we'll put the link up as well. What would you say? What steps would you give her? She wants to start her own vlog.
Okay. So first things first, gain the confidence to do it. Because without confidence, really, we can give you opportunities a day. I mean, you can literally just start your vlog on YouTube, your podcast on Spotify, and life goes. But if you don't have the confidence, then you're not doing anything. Okay. So first, have the confidence. And then secondly, watch as many vloggers as you can. Right. Look at what they do, who they talk about, what they talk about, how they do it. That's how you actually learn. Like on Society, I recently got a new show, which I am presenting. It's literally a 3-minute show. But before I could even film the first episode, I just had to take a day to sit down and watch other people do what I'm supposed to be doing, because it also gives you ideas. So watch as many people as you can, get support system where you can. Because I know when I started social media with Roku, all I had was a camera, and I didn't even have a tripod. So I would use a drawer as my tripod. Wow. And my sister was there. I'd literally tell her, start filming. Okay, stop. What do you think? She was my person. When I need to read, she was the teleprompter. That's just it. So it's also find support system and then take it from there.
Is it okay to talk about Sasai or no?
It depends with what you want to talk about.
I'm talking about in terms of like if they wanted a place to upload their content.
Yeah, we can talk about that offset.
We can talk about that offset, okay. Yes. But Sasai, if Bay, can you just give me like a brief what Sasai is?
Okay, Sasai is all-in-one Pan-African application. So you have your chart option, your explore, you have your videos, your movies in there, your podcasts in there. You can make payments in there as well. So basically, that's Sasai for you. Okay. So yeah. And then it's all over Africa. I think we are in more than 52 countries. Wow. And we currently have about 3.3 million users across Africa. So basically, it's all about the African brand. We are for the African content, bring the African content and put it out there at a cost which is affordable, even for the content creator to make money from the very beginning.
Cool. Just as I round up, where would you see yourself then with all these things so if you don't mind me asking, like, when will you, if all goes well, knock on wood, with your master's, when will that finish then?
Well, I'm currently working on my dissertation, so
Okay,
I'm
so
hoping
that's coming to an end.
next year, sometime in June latest, I
Okay.
should be done with that.
Where do you see yourself then in 5 years? If you had to, I've taken you back to 16, now I'm sort of pushing you past for 5 years. Like, where do you see yourself, and I guess where do you want to be in 5 years?
In 5 years, I think by then I should definitely have my PhD.
Mm-hmm.
That's like,
Oh, you're going for that.
like
You're even moving to
top
the
priority.
PhD.
Yeah, that's like top priority. It's a goal I set when I was a very little kid,
Right.
and it needs to be achieved. So
Okay.
I'm looking at myself having my PhD. Probably I would have ventured into corporate comms because currently I'm really into the digital side of things.
Okay.
So working towards actually going up the ladder in corporate comms, and probably a pastor too, because
You
there's
wanna
the
be a
theology.
pastor?
Yeah,
Wow.
there's the theology side
Like,
of things.
actually standing in front of church and giving the word.
Yes, why not?
Yeah, why not? No, it's amazing.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
What just because you mentioned about pastoring, what role does religion then play in your life?
Well, I was born and raised Christian, and all my life it has been that thing of, if you don't want to go to church, my mom would tell you no one stays in my house during time for church. I'm locking the door. I don't know where you'll go. We'll see you after church. But it seemed like, she's just being strict. But it was a foundation for myself, such that before I make any decision, the first thing I do is I pray about it. So it has really guided me, and there's so many opportunities that I look at and I say, if I hadn't prayed about this, I wouldn't have gotten this opportunity. Oh, you know what? The decision that I was about to make, if it wasn't because I believe in God, sorry.
What advice would you give to, like, just, well, let me backtrack a little bit. What challenges, let's start there, then we'll get to the advice. Like, what challenges do you think young women like yourself are facing right now in Zimbabwe? Like, what are the off the bat, like, challenges that you say, like, young women out there in your situation? Don't get me started, TK. Don't even get me started,
You really
TK.
need to go there. No, but then I think the
most important
one
ones,
of
I
the
guess, yeah.
biggest challenge is the fact that when you try to do things by the book, it's really difficult for you, especially as a woman. The moment I walk up to, for instance, a producer, all they see is, a pretty lady. You know, I can. If you want a show, you know what? Let's do. I've a show that I turned down simply because now the producer was trying to hit on me. But so it becomes this thing of, do I need to separate my beauty from my workspace? Because again, if you're ugly, then they're not going to take you into the industry. So there's that thing of men sexualizing women a lot, where even if you want to ask for directions, trust me, they're going to just make some sassy comment about how you look, what you have, and it's a bit, And then that thing would be, as much as men hate us when we say this, I always feel like most men are at an advantage just by being male. But that's something society will always tell you, that females have it easy, when they really don't have it easy. Because the moment you try to take a route that men take more than women do, you're already criticized just for being a woman trying to do it.
How do you handle that then? Or what your advice would be to, especially, I mean, that's a hard one. I mean, I know, some of my friends that have been through that situation about, you're trying to get your show on, or you're trying to, I'm coming from the acting industry, and there's a lot of directors, the stories that we hear in Hollywood and stuff, it even happens even at a lower level. Even at a lower level, to directors that are, so you go there for an audition, and it's like, but can I cheat at the part though? Like, how do you, how do you handle that? I guess maybe that can be
to be honest,
I know you said you turned down the show, which is a pretty good thing. Or it hurt, I guess, because you wanted your show, but you had to turn it down because.
I know it sounds like a cowardly move, but I walk away.
Okay.
Because the moment you're going to try and negotiate terms, it's just going to get them to what it's chindi mbijana. So I just walk away. I believe, like I mentioned, how I believe in God and God bringing the opportunities. I believe as well, when I turn it down, when I do not compromise my dignity and myself for a post or a show or a role, then God is going to bring something better for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, and then I'll just finishing up by just saying, what motivates, I guess, / inspires you every single day to be Ruku, to be the presenter, to be the DJ, to be your vlog, to do your thesis at like 9 o'clock till 4 in the morning? Like, what motivates you? What pushes you? What inspires you?
Okay, so there are two answers to that.
Cool.
One which people might think is a snobbish answer. So let me start with the proper one.
Okay.
The first one would be, I mentioned earlier how I always felt insignificant and all that stuff. So my younger self, the goals that she set in that time always pushed me to try and work harder, because if I know, no, this girl said PhD before 30, then what am I doing? You know, because this little girl is still looking up to me and is waiting to say, done, tick, we did that. So she definitely motivates me. My younger self, my life journey, what I've been through, what I've seen. I would also think my mom does motivate me a lot. She's a hardworking lady, trailblazer, and yeah, when I look at her, I'm just like, you know what? I need that kind of drive. And lastly, ndochikanamu, guys.
Okay.
I just don't want to be in a position where I'm expected to do things I can't do or eat things I can't eat because I can't afford to have the things that I really want.
Okay.
So I'm
And do you feel like this just came in as you were saying that? And I don't think it's a snobbish answer. I think it's a good answer. You know, Nansula Namu as well. I mean, like, it's good. But I was just thinking, I just wanted to, like, do you? I remember speaking to like my friends that are women, and they were just saying, like, do you feel like there's still that like little bit of pressure for women to get married, from like just like, because like I wanna, and my mom's gonna kill me for this, but like of like Kovazukuru or whatever, like is that do you think that's still pertinent?
Definitely.
Okay.
That pressure is still there. I think now now because people have accepted school, it's like once you're done with your first degree, tabula white gown. That's just it. And sometimes they may not be as aggressive and chiro or why, but you can also
you
tell.
Can feel it, yeah. You
know,
can feel it.
Certain conversations that you never used to have
that are
now happening, and you can tell. Or when someone else gets married, they're like, so when it comes your turn,
right.
And you just like, did I ever say?
Yeah,
it's definitely still there.
So how do you handle that then when your mom or whoever?
My mother will probably kill me.
So both our mothers are gonna kill us. So this is gonna be a good day.
I think she'll probably kill me for this, but I pretend like I'm just not hearing it.
Okay.
I'm just that one band of joy that's going to forever exist in your house.
Yeah.
So even with going out, I hardly leave the house. And I know deep down, maybe she's probably thinking that by this age, her other sister, we knew her boyfriend, you know?
Okay.
And that was me. And I'm just there. If I'm not talking about work, I'm talking about school or some other things. I'm not talking about any marriage plans, nothing. If you ask me about my life in 5 years, there's no boyfriend in the mansion.
No husband,
you know? Yeah. It's just, I just act like I don't know you want grandchildren. I know you want them, but I'm just going to pretend like you do.
Until the time is right.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Thank you so much, Ruku, for joining us for Just for Women. It's been such a pleasure, I guess, getting to know you and getting to know your story, and I'm sure it certainly helped me actually understand a little bit more about, you know, like we're just finishing this topic about just the idea of just pressure and women and some of the challenges that you guys face, and also how to address those challenges as well.
Thank you so much for having me.
So thank you so much. Thank you. How was it?
Yeah.
It was good?
It was good.
Yeah? It was really